I'm not too humble to be like, I need these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was my 40th birthday. I stopped kidding myself about reading glasses.
Was it?
Yeah. We were in a trip. I think we were in Dahlonega. Yeah. And I got my phone, and I'm doing this and the newspaper. Something's wrong with the print in the newspaper. What are they? They're skimping on the ink or what? No. Stop kidding myself. Went and got some readers. They're only 1.5.
I think that's about what these are.
Yeah.
I don't know what age it was that I was like, I really need them. I know when my dad started needing glasses, it was kind of like it was almost like an ordeal. Like, Dad's got reading glasses now. But I was like, I'm kind of needing them. Let me just throw them on, man.
Well, they say that there's like a line, if you think you do and you start too early, it will like make you need them because your eyes will get dependent on them or however that works.
I believe that. And that might have been what I did.
Might have been.
Because it was like...
You're stuck there now.
Yeah. Now I've got to have them.
Yeah.
Somebody pulls out their phone, my kids will be like, hey, Dad, look at this. And I'm like, okay, hold on.
Yeah, hang on a second. They're around here somewhere. I've got a pair of those clicks that hang around your neck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those are fantastic. I sleep with them in case there's a reading emergency at 1 a.m., and I just pop them on. That's how I keep up with them.
If somebody breaks in your house and is like, tell me what this newspaper says or you're done.
Hang on a second.
All right. Got my clicks on.
Yeah, just snap them up there. So how you been, man?
Good. I'm good, man. Doing really good.
Good.
The business is good.
That was question number one. How's the business?
Man. It's really good. So it's December. We're about to close out. Last year, we have done 3 times as much as we did last year.
3 times.
So what's that, 200%? Yeah, it's been good.
So you were here about this time last year.
Yeah, it was last November. We came down for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And this was, this is Christmas kind of. So.
Yeah, Christmas-ish.
Yeah, so
in a year's time,
yeah,
you've tripled your business.
Tripled.
How long have you been in business?
2.5 years. Yeah.
That's going to be a problem in another year. I mean, you're going to be triple.
We're still on the incline.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody today. He's like, I don't know what this means. I'm like, dude, I think it means we're still on the incline because it's not slowing down. Usually wintertime is a little bit slower for construction companies, and we are still kind of on that up and up. So we'll see, man. And I've got last year, this time we talked, it was me and my business partner, Dylan, and now we've got including me, there's 6 of us, so there's 5 employees, and it's just
that's triple.
I've got an office manager, I've got a project manager, I've got a production manager, another salesman. So it's taken off, dude. And we've got our general contractor's license, which we didn't have last year.
Right, you were like
we were
starting to.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and then it took way longer than we thought. And one of those things, it just is what it is, but. We did it, and here we are, and now we're doing everything, man. We're really anything a general contractor can do, we're doing.
Yeah. So you were just roofing this time last year, and now you're building whole houses.
Yeah. So we were doing. I started as just a roofing company. This time last year, I think we had done our first deck or 2. Mm-hmm. Now we're doing decks, screen porches, 3-season, 4-season rooms, patios, pavers. Now we're getting into, now that I have a full-time production manager, we're getting into we can do interior stuff. We can do anything. Yeah. Eventually, we're probably going to be building houses. We'll see. But,
well, that was the question last year was, we're ERS roofing. Are we going to go and be ERS exteriors?
Exactly.
And now you're talking about the plumbing and the electricity and everything.
Yep. It was like ERS roofing and construction is what we had landed on last year. And now it's just ERS construction. And so, a little bit of a rebranding and stuff, but it's been good. It's been good, cool, man. I couldn't be more pleased as far as that goes.
I was just thinking the other day about, I've known you since you were 9,
Yeah.
But kids that I had, especially that I coached in football or were my students at Model or whatever, and to see you guys now, you're my brother's age too, so that's a little bit even closer to home. But to see you guys married with families and buying houses or building houses and starting your own businesses, and you've been in the Marines and traveled the world or whatever it was you did in there, but it's cool to think about to remember you guys at 14, 15, when you came up from middle school for your first spring football practice, and you were like scared ducks huddled together in the corner. And then now you guys are adults now. You're all grown up. It's wild to think
big
that.
boys.
And somebody thought the same thing about me at one point. I hope I've grown up. But
And how old are you now?
Come on, man. 46.
Okay. I was thinking like 44. So, yeah, I was right.
All right, I'll take
Shooting
it.
there.
I'll take it. Yeah, so you guys.
When we graduated, he was about 30.
09?
When I was, 09.
Yeah, they're about.
09, yeah.
So yeah. Drew's younger than everybody in his class because he had a May birthday. He's 30.
Okay.
33, I think. So that would put you at 33, 34?
Yeah, I turned 34 in October.
Jeez, man.
So, yeah.
You're getting old, Lyle. These glasses.
Time doesn't stop, man.
It doesn't. You still have great hair, though.
I do.
There are guys your
thank
age
you.
that don't have hair.
I do, but yeah, thank you. I went and got it trimmed the other day because it had been a minute, and the girl's like, "Oh gosh, you don't have to worry about going bald." But it's funny because growing up, my mom's dad, what I was always told was that you take after your mom's dad. Mm-hmm. Well, my mom's dad was bald at 19.
No.
So I was like growing up, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm gonna lose all my hair.
Yeah.
And now this girl's like cutting my hair at 34, and she's like, you have a full head of hair.
Good to go.
Okay.
I've never met my mom's dad, but my dad is 70 and he's still got a solid head of hair.
Yeah.
It ain't, what it used to be, but I won't care when I'm 70. His dad was all the way bald. Never seen my mom's dad. I have no idea. So I'm just.
Well, you're good.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, you're good.
My barber has never let on that, and he's a pastor, so he would tell me the truth, I think.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm hanging in there, carrying a few extra pounds, but I still look okay, right?
No, you look good, man. You look good. You still doing jiu-jitsu?
When I
Here
can,
and there?
yeah.
I signed up for jiu-jitsu back in May. We did it for a little bit. I put my kids in. I just couldn't make it, man, because the timing.
Yeah,
I could do the practices, whatever. That's fine. But it was like 6 a.m. or 6 p.m.
That's the way we are.
Man, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to do when you got 2 kids. My kids are 5 and 3, and we've got one on the way now, due in May.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm like, I can't do this. So
yeah,
we
it's a commitment. Well, you have to invest the time in it to get good at it, or you'll just always get strangled.
Mm-hmm. And that was me. I'd get choked out. I'd get choked out 5 times in one roll by this one guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, probably 7 or 8 times of practice. And I was like, yeah, my business partner, he's a purple belt. He's really good. And he will choke you out faster. He'd choke me out faster than anybody else.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, he's like, how do I do, compared to all these other guys? I'm like, dude, you're way better. Way better.
Exponentially. The purple belt is the biggest jump.
Yes.
So you're a white belt, and then you're a blue belt, which is where I'm at, and that pretty much means you're just an advanced white belt. Mm-hmm. But that purple belt is advanced or expert as far as that goes.
That takes a little bit more to get that.
Yeah, yeah. You can stick around long enough to get a blue belt, but the purple belt is you have to be able to add tools and.
Yep. He's good, man. He's been doing it a while. And
what kind of place was it? You got one of the name joints? You guys Gracie's or?
It's called Embrace. Up in Wake Forest, Embrace Jiu-Jitsu. They do Muay Thai as well.
Okay.
And I like the Muay Thai a lot.
Muay Thai's fun. I did some of that when I was younger.
I like getting hit in the face, and I like punching and kicking and sparring as far as that goes.
Yeah.
And then that's actually where we met our project manager, Hector. He's a young kid. He's 19, man. Bilingual, and Dylan met him at Embrace and was like, they were in the locker room after practice, and Hector's like, yeah, I'm looking for a job. I just graduated high school and came off this. He took a tour of the United States, so he went out west with his girlfriend. They slept in the car for it was a long time. It was several months.
Yeah.
Came back, and that's when we met him, and I was like, dude, come work for us, man. So he's been doing really good for us. And he's got his first amateur boxing. No, it's not his first. Excuse me. He's doing an amateur boxing match Saturday. It's not his first one. No, I'm sorry. It is his first amateur boxing match. He's done amateur Muay Thai matches.
Okay.
So he's doing boxing now.
Should be easy with just the hands.
And
right?
that's what he's like, dude, I have a good feeling about this. And I was like, you're going to do good, man. His kind of, his goal is to be a professional boxer. So I'm like, dude, ERS is going to, we're going to support you as much as we can.
That's awesome.
And get you in there, man. We'll, we've kind of sponsored a thing here and there for him. And I was like, dude, you just make us proud. He texted me before I left.
Just don't lose.
Yeah, just don't lose. He's like, I'll make you proud, Lyle. I was like, I know you will, buddy.
All right.
So it's going to be good.
That's the stuff that makes a good company.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And it's not like you got to write checks for everybody that walks into their office with their hand out, but to say, hey, man, you're here and we'll take care of you. We'll sponsor your fight or, whatever.
It's all about culture, man.
Yeah.
My mom's been at the same hospital for years and years, and she's like, I got a $25 gift card for Christmas,
Right.
And I give everybody good bonuses, and we really try to take care of people, make them feel like they're special and they're part of the company, which they are. They're a big part of it, because I couldn't do this, man, all by myself. This time last year, it was like I had just come off this whole year-long run of running every bit of this by myself. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, that sucks. So I started kind of realizing what I needed to put, this is this person's role. This is this position's role. This is this one's. And we'll put those people in that position as we grow. And that's what's happened. And, yeah, it's good. But my goal is to take care of people, treat them well, make sure that they know they're appreciated, and I think that's the secret sauce as far as building a successful business. So yeah.
Well, how much harder does that guy work for you than he might have otherwise? Right. Because you're going to get some of that because he's 19 and he's going to show you that he can do it. And he's all fired up. But like, how much more do you get when you go, hey man, good luck in your boxing match this week.
Yeah.
Here's a couple bucks for some, new shoes or whatever, to, a coat to wear to the ring. It's a big deal.
Absolutely.
So he's going to go harder for you on the roof or whatever it is that he does for you if you take care of him.
Yeah.
But the rest of your guys are probably the same. They're not all boxers, but
they're all the same, man. I feel like we've got a really good team. There's that saying, what do they call it? Pareto's Law. It's like 80% of the people do 20% of the work, and 20% of the people do 80% of the work. I feel like we've got 6 people who do 100% of the work. So it's really good.
That's awesome.
And, like I said, I couldn't be happier as far as that goes.
Yeah. Well, you worked at a roofing company that was cultured before you started your own, right?
Exactly.
So you had a pretty good blueprint.
Yes. TK Hamilton over at Midian. He's got it going on, man. And it was a culture there that really taught me what it takes to run a company. So then, when I moved to North Carolina up to Raleigh, it was like, dude, let's just kind of. And then at the same time, I worked for a company up there that was the exact opposite. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't a good culture. Yeah. And so I took everything that I could from all these places I've worked and been like, let's just do this.
Well, you've tripled your business in the last year. So whatever you're doing is working.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. That's the only way you can look at it, right? It ain't luck. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as luck. You're putting in the work.
That's what me and my business partner talk about. It's like, Dylan, he's like, dude, I don't think we've gotten lucky 12 months in a row. Like, definitely not.
No.
We hit our numbers every month. He's like, at first, we get to May, it was like, all right, this has been 5 months. Maybe we're lucky.
Yeah.
But now it's like,
well, you see, through the summer in the outdoor working months, and then you think we'll plateau a little bit. Maybe we'll fall off October, November, December. Apparently not.
That's what we're thinking. And we had our best month in November last month. So
really?
It's like I said, I think we're still on this incline.
That's the way to do it, man.
It's wild.
So next year you'll have 12 guys working for you.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So how much time are you spending on roofs these days?
Oh, man. I get on like 2 roofs a month now.
Not nearly what it was.
Yeah. And that's why I was talking. Yeah. Alexa said something 2 or 3 days ago. My wife, she's like, well, next time you're on the roof or whatever she said. And I was like, babe, I'm not on roofs anymore.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you're right.
Haven't been on a roof in 6 months.
It's like, yeah, I get on, when it rains a lot, we'll get calls. And so I got on 2 roofs from then. People that were like, hey, you fixed this roof for us, but now it's leaking again. Well, it turns out we get over there and look at it, and it's like, well, it's not what we did. It was some other area. So it's kind of cool how that works out. But of course, if it was something that we did, we'd fix it. But it's like, that's the only time I really get on roofs anymore. Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. It's kind of interesting though, because I'm having to like step back and say, okay, I can't be doing, I was doing everything. I'm going to have to take this step back. I've got a good sales manager. I've got a good salesman. I got a good production manager. Like everything's handled, an office manager. I've got to focus on the stuff that's in my lane now, but it's difficult. It's still just like this mental challenge of like, man, okay, I want to be doing everything to feel productive. Yeah. But that's not my role anymore. Yeah. So it's kind of changed. But no, it's good, man. It's
well, that's some of that growing up we talked about, right? And you get to a point where it's nice to not have to climb the ladder.
Yeah.
And be on the roof all day or sling shingles or whatever it is you're doing up there. Like, you can delegate that to somebody 15 years younger than you. Like, that's nice. That's a big deal.
And it's crazy that there's people 15 years younger than me that
are
adults.
Yeah. You're there, bro.
Dude.
You're there. I don't know. It's funny how life works that way. I saw on Facebook earlier somebody said I'm something along the lines of it was surprising how long it took to get from 18 to 25. And I said from 25 to 45 is about the same amount of time. It just buzzes by.
It's fast.
Yeah, the older you get. But the wisdom comes with that. And you go, well, I don't need to be on the roof every day.
Yeah. It's not where I'm most valuable to the company. And that's definitely it, man. Definitely it.
So how do you go about getting roofing business? You guys got billboards or radio ads or?
So I think I talked about this last time we spoke, a little bit, but and of course things have changed some. But I was in I'm still in it's a B&I group, Business Networking International. It's a networking group for businesses. We meet every week, and it is so if you're a roofer, if you're a realtor, a lawyer, whatever you are, if you join this group, you have to pay to join, and we meet every week, and there's like kind of strict attendance and stuff like that. They make it worth your while, but you lock everybody out of that's your competition. So no other roofer can join. They can come visit, but nobody can join. If you were an electrician, no other electrician could join.
Right.
So that's been where that's kind of what kick-started the business for me. And that still gives us a significant amount of business. But now we're doing really a lot of Yelp ads. We've got a really good website with the SEO marketing. We've got a company who does all that. They do the SEO, which I don't fully understand. I get the gist of it.
Me neither.
and sometimes I will tell you, some of these SEO people don't even understand it themselves.
Right.
Because I've been burned from them.
Yeah.
So not everybody who says they're experts are experts. But let's see, Yelp, the website, and then Nextdoor. We've done a lot of organic Nextdoor marketing, and all that really looks like is, so we don't go in there. It's kind of like if you're looking through a Facebook page. Like, for instance, we've got a Wake Forest home improvements page up in Raleigh, Wake Forest area. You don't want to go on there and be like, hey, I'm Lyle with ERS Construction. We can help you with this, blah, 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 blah. Because people are asking, saying, hey, I'm looking for a deck. I want to get my deck replaced. Who's got a good contractor? What we do is we go on there. This is for Nextdoor, Facebook, all the same. We go on there and we say, hey, here's the 4 things that you want to look for when you're choosing a contractor, blah, 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 blah. And then we kind of at the bottom be like, and if you if you want, give us a call.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to help you. We're licensed, insured, fully insured, blah, blah, blah. And so that's kind of the way that we approach it, is that we try to add value instead of just asking for something.
Mm-hmm.
So on the Nextdoor platform, we go in there and anytime somebody's looking for a roof, if they have a roof leak, if they want a deck, a screen porch, whatever, we go on there and we kind of give them that value of, here's what you want to look for, and here's what to look out for, here's what you can kind of expect. And then, by the way, if that sounds good, then feel free to give us a call. And that's worked out a ton. We've got people on there. We've got these ladies on there who apparently are just on Nextdoor all day long. They've never used our services, but they refer us out all the time.
God bless them.
It's hilarious. I'm like, this is awesome. And so you go on Nextdoor up there, and most companies have 3 or 4 or 5. They call it favorites. It's kind of like a like or a follow for the company. We've got like 50 something. And so these people will tag ERS Construction, and it's got 53 favorites or whatever it is, and the next company has 3, and the next one has 5. And so it's been an organic thing.
Push you to the top of the heap.
And it's taken it's taken a long time, or a year, but
yeah,
we're finally to this place where it's like, this organic reach and this work that we've put in is kind of snowballing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost to the point where it's like when it rains, we're getting calls. I mean, we're getting calls all the time, but it's just, it's been a mixture of that organic mixed with, a little bit of ad spend and stuff, but we haven't done anything crazy. And the way that we kind of framed it in our mind is kind of like going to the gym. You want to work out, you don't want to just start from never working out. This is kind of how we view ad spend. You don't want to go to the gym for the first time and then also start taking supplements or steroids.
Yeah.
Right? You want to get that routine in, and you want to get, start lifting every day and doing what you need to do. And then you can add the supplements.
Right.
And so that's what ad spend is kind of us. It's like, that's just like the boost.
Yeah.
To the thing that's already there. And so that's the way we viewed it. And no, it's been good, man.
That's cool, man.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I knew what I would do if I needed roofing work done.
Mm-hmm.
I know where I would go and look for a roofing company, but I didn't know how it worked from the other end. As far as, all you can do is hope somebody calls, at the end of the day, no matter how much advertising or anything else you're doing, but it's got to help that you do things right.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's nothing beats word of mouth.
Exactly.
Like, there's no better advertising than, hey, I get on Facebook, I need a roof. Well, these guys did our roof, and they did a really good job for us. Okay. Or our plumbing or electrical or a lawyer, whatever you need.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you use? What do you, whatever. So you've done it right.
Yeah.
And these ladies are on there boosting you guys up.
It's funny.
Yeah.
And then, the referrals from past customers. There's this one, we've done like three projects for these people all on the same cul-de-sac. And it was just like, oh, they needed work. They got us, we did whatever. And then the next door neighbor, then the next one. And my buddy would call me. He's like, dude, we did their house, this house, and now they're calling us. I'm like, yep. So what happens when you take care of people?
Put a pin in the map.
Yep. You just got to take care of people, man. And that's the biggest thing, is treat people the way that, it's kind of the way I always framed it, was like, treat people the way that I would want my grandmother to be treated by a contractor.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people who come out and say, ma'am, you need a whole new roof. Well, she's 80-something years old. She's not going to get up there.
Right.
To double check. She's going to take your word for it. So if we just are straight up on the front end, this is what you need. You don't need a full roof, or you don't need a whole deck replacement or siding replacement or whatever, then we're going to hook you up and we're going to do this for you, and this is all you need. Then that, saving them tens of thousands of dollars, is going to just continue to take care of you down the road. Now, you're not going to see that immediately, and that's the difference. Is like, let's not be short-sighted. Let's think about this, down the road.
Yeah.
And that's again, that's that snowball effect.
Yeah.
So it's worked.
That's awesome,
It's worked, man.
So at what point did you think, yeah, I'll become a roofer? I mean, this wasn't what you thought of when you were 8, right? I mean, I want to grow up and be a roofer. Like, God bless roofers, but that's just not how it goes.
And I even said out loud several times, I'm sure, that I am never going to own a roofing company, a construction company, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, man. It just, because I would not consider myself, as the owner of the company, I would not consider myself an expert, because we do roofing, we do decks, screen porches, siding, everything. So, like, I wouldn't consider myself an expert in anything. I wouldn't consider myself, out of respect for the people who, like, train me to be an expert roofer. Now, I would consider myself an expert, like, roof climber. I'm really good at climbing roofs. I can access roofs. I can measure roofs.
Yeah.
So then, if you're not the expert, what's the answer to that is to hire people who are experts in that thing. So now I've been able to hire people who are truly experts in all these fields, and now if I have a question, I've got those resources.
Yeah. And
now I do know more about roofing than a lot of people.
99% of people, yeah.
Shout out to my late friend Terry Rose at Midian, but he was an expert roofer, what I would consider an expert roofer. Yeah. But, he had been roofing since he was 15 years old.
Right.
And so I'm like, I'm not an expert. I do know a lot about roofing, but I've got guys who I can call on and that work for me that are actual experts. Mm-hmm. And so it's a matter of just trying to figure out what that role is and then fill those people in.
Yeah.
And then, being able to utilize those resources.
Yeah, yeah. So help me out with your mic a little bit.
Okay.
Just make sure that you're kind of like talking down into it here.
Okay, you got it.
That's it. You're kind of coming. I think we're getting you all.
I'm going like here and then here.
Yeah. And you can take the mic and walk around if you want to. But
you got it.
It's not so good from the sides. Still way better than the mics we had here last year. So we've upgraded since then. Anyway.
It's nice here.
Yeah, nice. I like it, man. It's God blessed us. We don't have to pay for this place.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, somebody does, but it's not me.
Yeah.
So we can leave all this stuff. We were doing this in our church.
And having to take it up, put it in the closet or whatever.
Yeah. And it just stays. And there's marks on the floor where the tripod goes,
that's cool.
And we just roll.
Very nice.
Chill on the couch before and after a lot of times.
Yeah.
Giant TV. It's nice. It really is.
That's cool.
So
tell me about the church.
So let me see. How much can I say?
Because we got a little bit in common there.
Yeah. We stopped meeting as a church. Let's see. It's middle of December now. Would have been the last week of May. I think the first week of June was actually our last meeting.
Okay.
As Rome Reformed Church. We had some people that left. We were a really small church. We had 5 families, including my own. One family left, and another family left because that family left. Mm-hmm. And then there was another family that traveled a pretty good ways to come to our church, and they finally got to the point where they were like, hey, we would rather just go to church somewhere. We don't have to drive an hour to get here. And I was like, yeah, I get it. So at the end of the day, it was my family and one other family. And we said, well, we can continue to pay rent on this place and do all the things that, go along with that. Or we can just call this what it is, and we can go find other churches. And we met in our living room for several weeks after that until we, could get out and start visiting some other churches and things like that. So we've done a bunch of that. And recently we've been going to Woodlawn Baptist Church out on 411.
Okay.
So it's a lot like what we were doing at Rome Reformed Church. And we visited a bunch of places, and I kind of got around to see some of my buddies preach that I never got to saw because I was preaching on Sundays. So I got to do some of that. But man, what a nerve-wracking process that is, trying to find a church. So there are times you walk into a place and you're there for 10 minutes and this ain't it.
Yep.
And then, there are places you want to go 5 times because you think it's cool, but like maybe you're waiting on the other shoe to drop and it's not cool. And then just deciding where to go to church every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where are we going to go today? Like, and you try to get ahead of that and do it, Friday, Saturday, some other time. So it's not a surprise on Sunday
morning.
Yeah, because if you do, then you look and it's 10:30 and you're like, well, it's too late to go. Everybody's already started. And I would rather not go anywhere at all than be late. And that drives me nuts. I can't stand being late.
I'm saying.
It's just such a process.
It is. And then the whole, and the church that I was at years ago, what's it been? 5 years now, almost. Let's see.
Has it been that long?
The end of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now listen, you're gonna say some things, and I still have to live in this town, and you
I know
get to
you
go back
do.
to Raleigh. So
I know that's the benefit I have.
All good, man. All good.
No, and I won't say anything out of pocket.
I got you.
No, there's just a lot. There's a lot when it comes to the church scene, and oh man, I didn't realize how political it is. It's so like we're gonna do it this way, or no, we got to do it this way because of this family and their, whatever it is.
That's
it's
the
just
worst.
I
was never a fan of denomination. Like, I just thought it was something that man came up with and it's ruining the church or whatever. But at the end of the day, you look at a denomination and that's how you tell what you line up with.
Yeah.
And you get into these non-denominational, not all of them. There's some good ones out there. But a lot of them, a guy's the pastor and his son is the associate pastor and his son-in-law is the worship leader and his wife is the secretary or the office manager, whatever, and like their daughter is the children's. And I'm like, oh, okay. So they just run the place.
Yeah.
And that's not a plurality of elders. That's a hierarchy or whatever.
Nepotism.
Yeah. So they all just vote together on whatever it is, and too bad.
Or you have like what we had, and it was like, this guy's going to make the decision. It doesn't matter what anybody else says.
That's not in the Bible.
Even though it was like, no, that's not the way it is, guys. We have our group of elders here, but it's like, no, we really don't.
Yeah.
Because if I come to you and I say, hey, this group of elders doesn't like what you're doing, and then you tell me, well, they got something wrong with their heart and they're not really seeking God. That's
and if you hire a pastor and he presents a vision, like, this is what I think God wants for this church, and you hire him based on that, like, oh, look, cool, let's run with that. But you still got to stay in bounds. You can't just make stuff up and go, well, that's my vision. Well, that's not how it works either. So there's some give and take there, but it can't just be anybody who disagrees with me is wrong.
Right.
Like, we're not doing that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, man. Yeah.
It is.
And we still haven't. We've been to churches up there, but I'm still just like, I still have a lot of hurt.
Yeah.
From that whole experience, and I'm just like, man, I wish it was different. I wish it was different for me and my family, but it's just like, it's tough. It's tough. When you pour your heart and soul into something and you get told, well, you're not really in line with what God's will is, and if you don't agree with me, then when this person's clearly wrong, well, you don't agree with me, so you're wrong. You're not in God's will. Like, dude, you tell that to enough people, and well, you just kind of see the fruit of what happened at that church. It's like you see what happened, and it's not good. It's not biblical. Yeah. It's not God's will. It's man. That was man's will.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
the Bible spells out, deacons and elders and overseers and words like that, and it's not just one guy going, "Hey, this is how it is."
Yeah.
I mean, God can, but that's why He's God, and we're not. But I mean, anytime you get a group of people together, you have a group of people together, and then people do their people stuff, and it's an issue that you have to work through, but it's got to be a team effort.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's not in so many instances. And
that's true.
They always say, if you find the perfect church, don't go there because you'll ruin it, But It's tough, man. It's a long and arduous process.
Yeah.
And I wish the church hurt wasn't real, but it is. It's a real thing.
Yep. It is, man. And kind of like what you had talked about in your, you did that podcast where you talked about how, hey, it was about the church, your church no longer being a thing. And okay, well, am I still a pastor or not? And all these other pastors are asking you to come preach at their church. And you're like, dude, just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing too, is like these people don't realize how much pressure is on a pastor of a church. Like, you even mentioned it, like your phone can ring at any time.
Yeah.
Somebody could get sick, somebody, whatever it is. It's
people not even in your church.
And I think that's probably the worst, or I don't know the best way to phrase it, but like that's the thing, is when somebody calls you and is like, hey, you're the pastor of this church. I need $200 to cut my lights on. It's like, who are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you say no, then it's like, well, you don't really love God, whatever it is. And it's like, dude, we don't have unlimited funds here.
Yeah.
And my job is not just on Sundays, it's this whole, it's just a lot of pressure of always trying to be available and be there for people and never know what's coming. And so, I feel for you in that respect, as far as that goes. And then people, as soon as your church is no longer a thing, it's like, well, come preach at my church. Yeah. And it's like, no, I'm good, man. And what it is that pastor's feeling the same pressure that you were feeling. Right. They're like, dude, I want to break too, man.
Day off. Yeah. It's tough, but your whole life is under a microscope.
Yes.
And you're worried about, like, my kids are misbehaving. Is somebody going to think my house is not in order? Like, that's not how that works. Or my wife got a haircut. Like, God forbid, my wife gets a haircut, and it's not like it used to be.
Or gets her nails done. Oh, they spent money on that? Like, are you kidding me?
I know there was a story about a pastor that grew a mustache on vacation. Right? He's gone for 2 weeks or whatever it is. Comes back, he's got a mustache, and it's a problem at the church. What, are we really a mustache? That's what we got going on?
Dude, it's something else, man.
But it's been, I don't know, that process has been cool. It's been, like I said, it's stressful. It's not as stressful as being a pastor, but finding that place and deciding what's best, and places that we like, but we didn't feel right, like they were doing the right thing for our kids. Yeah. So it wasn't good for the whole family. Or maybe they had a great kids program, but we weren't going to get what we needed, in the sanctuary. And it's just all the pieces have got to kind of come together, and they will. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of, being diligent enough to stick with it. Yeah. It's tough. I don't want to do it. There are days like I don't want to go to church. I don't want to get out like it's my day. I got a day job. I wasn't a full-time pastor, so it's not like I only worked on Sundays.
Exactly.
Now I'm a regular old lazy guy like everybody else. But it's tough. And man, the temptation now that I don't think I mentioned this the first time because it was still pretty fresh then. But I knew if I ever flipped somebody off in traffic, they would come to my church the next day, and I'd like, oh, here we go. So like stuff like that's always in your head.
It is. Yeah.
Like, I can't yell at the guy behind the counter because
you can't have a bad day or a bad moment.
Right.
And it's like everybody has those dudes. Like, there's a reason that we are Christians. It's because we're not Jesus. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to have a bad day. I'm going to have bad moments. We know that. And we know we're not perfect. Yeah. So that's what we were here because Jesus was perfect.
Right.
We're not here trying to say we are.
Yeah.
But no, it is. It's everything is under a microscope. And the pastor of that church that I was a part of just showed up in my house one day and was like, this is before we had kids. Came in and was like, I'm here to make sure your house is in order. I'm like, this is weird, bro.
What?
Like, huh? He said, I told you.
Like all the dishes are done? Or like, what are you looking for?
Literally, like making sure the house was clean.
That's not what that means at
all. I know. But I'm like,
that's a lie. You got some socks over there.
He said something to the effect, like, I told you I'd just stop by sometime. I'm like, yeah, I see that. Like,
that's weird.
Very weird. Very weird.
I'm trying to think right now if I'm friends with this guy on Facebook. I don't think I am. I don't know who knows if he listens or not. God bless him.
I'm not either, but if he does, he's going to post 10 Facebook posts about this, and we'll never see it.
Yeah, I'll have no idea. It would have been great. But thanks for the ping in the algorithm. I'll take it, man. One more listener. I don't care if they're mad or not.
No, yeah, it helps the algorithm, man.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You have to be teachable, even as a pastor. As the business owner, you got to listen to the people around you. And being a pastor is no different. Being a Christian who's not a pastor is no different. You got to be teachable. You got to be moldable. We're not done. As long as we're still living and breathing, there's room for improvement.
Yeah.
In whatever field you're in. But especially in our faith, it's a big deal. You listen, you learn. Mm-hmm. If I were to start a church this Sunday, it would be much different than what we were doing 6 months ago because I know more now than I did.
I'm sure. Yeah.
You can kind of see what works and what doesn't and what we benefited from and what was a detriment.
Yeah.
You
just got to be humble, man.
Yeah.
Humility is the biggest thing. God, He lifts up the humble, but then, pride goes before a fall.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing for me is if I'm not humble and I think I know it all, something's going to happen that's going to show me that I don't.
You got to work on Monday and you say, hey, man, you need to be doing X, Y, and Z. And the guy's like, okay, cool, I'll do it. And you're like, well, you got to listen to me because our company grew by 300% this year, and I know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't. Maybe he's doing that job because he knows more about it than you do.
Exactly.
So, yeah, be humble, be able to be taught, man. It's a big deal.
That's it.
Yeah. But, I mean, you had a solid raising, and I imagine that your parents instilled those types of values in you and probably whooped you when you didn't get it right and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Although I was a pretty decent kid, I feel like. I was telling Alexa, I was like, I don't remember I can probably count the whoopings on one hand.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was because if they said, hey, you're doing this wrong or whatever it is, got on to me, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Right.
Bad. I didn't need that,
Yeah, I was kind of the same way. I can count, one hand probably the number of whoopings I got because I never got spanked for the same thing twice.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I'm not doing that again.
I do remember when I was about 13 or so, my mom, I was giving her a hard time and she grabbed me where boys don't want to be grabbed. She's like, I told you to listen to me. And I'm like, yes, man, that was the last time that ever happened. I said, okay.
Your mom is a legend.
She's crazy, dude. I love her.
Absolute
legend.
Love her. So I had PJ.
She came and got us from the airport last night and drove us. We got home at 2:30 or to her house.
Just beasting it behind the wheel.
I'm gonna get them grandkids.
Oh, absolutely. I had PJ Broom on. I know PJ through jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He was on the podcast and told us the story of your mom pulling the staples out of his head. Were you around for this?
I don't remember that, but I'm sure. So my family and his family have been like commingled since before I was born.
Yeah. So PJ was 8 or 9, which would have made you 11 or 12 probably. He gets attacked by a dog.
That makes sense.
This thing latches onto his head, and they end up taking him to the hospital, and he's got all these staples in his head. And Phil took PJ to your house, and Roxy put him on the counter and pulled the staples out with a pair of channel locks that she had sterilized or whatever.
That checks out.
But he's telling me this story, and I'm like, yeah, that's about the most Roxy Morris thing ever.
Yep. Well, you remember the Armurchie Model Redneck Bowl?
Yeah.
That was my mom.
She did all that.
Started that.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't allowed to be a thing later on. It's too offensive, I guess.
Yeah, we got too high and mighty at our poor county school. Couldn't be the rednecks. And that was the best thing ever.
With the deer head,
Yeah, it's still around somewhere. I saw it not too long ago. But it's that was a shame, man. I lobbied when we built the new building. I don't think you went to school in the new building.
Mm-mm.
So when we built this new space and we were moving in this new building as a school, I'm like, hey, every 10 years or so, some little church group would come up and be like, y'all don't need to be the devils. Somebody comes out for that.
Sure.
And I was like, hey, this is a perfect opportunity for us to change the mascot to the rednecks, and we can have real tree camouflage uniforms in all of our sports, and it'll just be the coolest thing. Yeah, everybody would have bought it. We could have played whoever and been just, the redneck bowl every Friday night.
Yes, every Friday.
Yeah.
That was good times.
They didn't go for that.
No. No. I wouldn't imagine.
PC, man. We're eat up with the PC.
Are you still in the school system or no?
No, I hadn't been since August of 20.
Okay.
So
I may have asked you that last time. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I don't remember. But, it was COVID and all that good stuff. We were actually late starting school that year. And the first day of school, my wife texted me. And she's like, hey, I got COVID. She's a nurse, I was like, oh, okay. So my principal, according to our county policy, is like, hey, you got to go home for 14 days. I was like, okay. She was out for 4 days. She went back to work before I did. And we've been talking about homeschooling our kids, which meant one of us was going to have to quit our job. And she was a nurse, and I worked in public school, so the math was pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, let's just call this what it is. I'll come back after my 14 days for a day or two because I wanted to say bye to everybody I'd worked with for 13 years. And then I dipped out of there.
Nice.
So, yeah, kind of felt bad. It was right at the beginning of the school year, and I'm like, I quit.
Yeah.
But
well, you were gone for 14 days anyway. So
yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So, yeah, I did 1 day of school that year.
Nice.
It was.
Nice.
It was great. And I should have quit a long time before I did. And I didn't. It was one of those things you don't realize until like afterward and you're looking back and you're like, man, that wore me out.
How bad it was, yeah. Yeah.
But the last whole year I was there, the 1920 school year was short. We got out in March. But the end of the last full year before that, I was talking to our school resource officer and I was like, hey, my job's starting to look a lot like yours. And I'm about ready to get out of here. And then I did. At my earliest opportunity.
So you still homeschooling the kids?
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, I am, but we've kind of flip-flopped things now. I work for an organization called Trail Life USA.
Okay.
And it's a lot like the Boy Scouts, except that everything is Christ-centered and boy-focused. Okay. All that stuff's in our language. And I vet volunteers. It's the biggest part of my job.
Okay.
To kind of keep what happened to the Boy Scouts from happening to us. So,
of course.
So that's what I do now. And then Jessica works periodically as a nurse.
Nice.
And she stays home with the boys. And I actually get to work from home. So we're all there together.
Oh, that's good.
It's really nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You still live in the same place?
Yeah, I guess so. Where did you...
What was that?
No. Probably not. You came and got me one time in your little Toyota truck.
I'm trying to remember the name of that street, though.
I think it was
Oh, no.
Was it Bull? I just said that out. Take that out.
Take it. Next to your mama is where...
Oh, yeah. Oh,
okay.
That's where we are.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I couldn't remember how long ago that had been.
No, yeah. It was, next door to your mom. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. No, that's good. Yeah, me and Alexa, we want to homeschool the kids, man. Dude, if I could do it now, I'd do it. Which my kids are 5 and 3, so they're both in preschool.
Right.
But Alexa's like, I'm not going to be good at it. And I'm like, fine, I'll do it.
She would crush it.
I think she would do good.
Yeah.
And so in January, so it's December now, January, she's going PRN to like 2 days a week.
Do it.
And then after the kid's born in May, we don't even know what it's going to be with boy or girl. We're not going to find out because we have a boy and a girl now. So
that's awesome.
So whenever the kid's born, she's going to quit anyways, or at most she's going to go to like 2 days a month, 1 day every other week.
That's what Jessica does, about 1 day every other week.
And I'm like, you could do this. And she just doesn't think she could. So it's like, one of those things. So on the way down here, I was like, fine, I'll do it. She's like, what are you talking about? You can't do it. You're running a business and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then so I'm just like hoping I'll say that and she'll be like, fine, I'll do it.
How much do you love your kids is what it comes down to. That's not. But I know people, though, that have homeschooled for 20 years and something comes up and we're like, we need to know about that because we don't know what to do. So we call them and they're like, I don't know, figure it out. Like, okay. So it makes us feel better.
It's a gist of
it. That nobody's really got it all figured out.
Same thing in business, man. It's like, figure it out.
Yeah.
My business partner, before he joined us and really decided, all right, I'm going to do this with ERS, he was like, he left this general contracting company and was interviewing with all these different companies. And he interviewed. And what he was doing, I think, is I think he would probably say this too, is he was looking for that company that had it all figured out.
Yeah.
And after talking to so many people, and he would go in there and ask all these like very detailed questions, just trying to figure out what was going on. And he's like, dude, we're all just figuring this thing out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we got a project where we're going to have to cut the rafters a certain way and then attach on and then build this roof out and blah, blah, blah. It's like, how are we going to do that? We'll figure it out. Like, it's just it's like, he's like, everybody's just figuring this thing out. And so it was just interesting. And that's why I told him, I'm like, yeah. And once he got that, boom, now we're off to the races.
Yeah.
He's like,
rocking and rolling.
Yeah. So
homeschooling's the same way, man.
Same thing.
Exact same thing.
But everybody thinks that everybody above their managers got it all figured out or whatever. And it's like, dude, that's not the case. Trust me. As a business owner, trust me. I wake up and I got the same anxieties and I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but we're going to make it. We're going to make it through the day.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our best. We're going to take care of the customer, and then everything's going to come out in the wash. And, so it's the same thing. So maybe my wife, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I would love that. I would love to homeschool the kids, man. And we've got about 3 acres now north of Raleigh, about 35 minutes, and a little creek back there. We got the best neighbors in the world with all these kids.
Awesome.
And so I'm like, dude, there's no better. And all the kids, not all of them, but a lot of the kids in the neighborhood are like, their parents are going to homeschooling.
Yeah.
So it's like
a lot of people are, man.
Good time to do it, man.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 other families I can think of. Yeah.
Well, that's the strength, right? Is that I don't know how to do high level math, right? But this other person who's in our homeschool group does.
Yeah.
Or there's the internet, right? Like,
how many times you use high level math in your job though?
Never.
Like, I use geometry.
Right.
That's about it. And
but if you didn't know like geometry rules,
you can look it up so easy.
Right? Could you figure out how to do it though? How to stretch that board to make it go from A to B? You know, how long does it have to be? Well, it's got to be that long.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a thing right here that we can look up anything.
How about all the teachers that said you wouldn't always have a calculator with you, right? Take that, teaching lady.
Exactly.
You always do. And now you've got an app that'll help you find the stud in the wall, and
you can even there's apps where you can go like from here to here and it'll tell you how long that is. Yeah. And that stud in the wall, everything. It's like,
or what stars are over your head right now.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we don't need school.
I mean,
people were homeschooled for thousands of years before.
Yeah.
What, 100 years ago, maybe? Whenever they came in, come up with the factory school system.
Yeah, that was really into the probably like the 40s and 50s. They started like the actual factory model. But yeah, man, school's the only place you go where you're locked in a room with a bunch of people your exact same age. And like, what are any of you learning from any of the others? Like, they talk about socializing your kid. Make sure your kids get socialized. They're hanging out with the kids that are in the exact same place they are. What are they learning?
And stick me in a room for 8 hours a day. Like, that's the worst thing ever. If I ever have to go to like some sort of classroom learning, I'm like, this is the worst.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's the worst.
It's hard for me to sit through church.
And but we expect the kids to do that for every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot there. But yeah, a lot of people are going to the homeschool side of things. So I'm glad.
Yeah, me too. And I catch heat because they're on. Didn't you used to be? Yeah, well, yeah, I did. And that's how I know.
That's the point.
Yeah. And I know some great teachers, but I know there's some rotten teachers, and I know that there are kids out there that I don't want my kids hanging out with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we get to decide who those kids are.
Right. That's true.
And are we sheltering our kids? Absolutely.
Yeah.
We get to decide when they're exposed to certain things. I remember Ayla came home from, maybe it was kindergarten. Ashley's parents went to jail last night. The police came and kicked the door open, and she had to go stay with her grandmother. Like, okay, cool. You got exposed to that in kindergarten, on some random Tuesday. Didn't know that was even a thing, and then she brings that home from school with her, and that wasn't the teacher's fault. That's just life.
Yeah.
Well, like, we don't hang out with people who get arrested in the middle of the night now. Like, we've eliminated that from their lives.
I remember I was in 2nd grade, and you'd probably know this kid if I told you his name, but he said, "Yeah, my daddy, he was passed out on the toilet last night, and I was hoping he was dead." And I'm like, and I'm second grade, so I'm like 7 or 8 years old. I'm like, wait, what? You wanted your dad to be dead? He's like, yeah. And I couldn't fathom that.
Yeah.
But it's because this dude's dad beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
And so yeah. But now you get to decide who your kids hang out with. And
yeah.
There you go.
And they get socialized. And my 5-year-old will look you in the eye and shake your hand and say, "Nice to meet you."
Mine too.
My name's Flint, And
yeah.
So you get 18,000 more hours with your kids when you homeschool. Like 18,000 hours.
Per year?
I think it's over the course of, 13 years of school or whatever. So, yeah.
That's a lot, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
I think it's 18,000. It's in that ballpark. But
because all we've done is take, the mom and dad, they both have to go get jobs, and then we let other people raise our kids, and it's just like, no.
Well, and we're no better off with mom and dad working because we just find ways to spend that money too.
All that,
and it gets
exactly.
Gone. The price of everything went up, and
Yep.
we didn't do ourselves any favors, and now our kids are being raised by
strangers,
somebody else. Yep.
Yeah.
And even in a small community, when you mostly know who your kids' teachers are, and you kind of, in a place like we're in, we don't have a ton of wacko teachers, but somebody else is still raising your kids.
Yep.
And that's tough. I didn't want that for my kids.
Right. No. Yeah, that's a big one for me. Yeah. It's the homeschool. We'll see. Yeah. Me and Alexa are constantly talking about that, so it's one of those things.
Be of any help or persuasiveness or whatever. I mean, I did it, and I thought, well, I've been doing this for a long time. I can homeschool. It's a whole different. It's not school at all. Like, you guys sit at the kitchen table and raise your hand if you have a question or if you need to go pee-pee. Well, no, that lasted for 3 days, and I was like, okay, this is not the same thing. And
it's not that structured.
No, it's not. And there's times when you've got to sit down and read a book or do, whatever it is you're doing, but maybe for 20 minutes as opposed to an hour. And then we'll go play. And then we'll come back and do another 15, 20 minutes later. But don't worry about it right now because you're 5.
Yep.
And you need to go outside and play.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we ain't got to be into the Shakespeare until we're 12 or whatever. It's just not that important.
No, that's cool, man. That's cool. I love it.
It is. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm glad we've done it.
But, and I told her, I was like, hey, if we get rich enough, we can just hire a tutor to come in and
if you triple your business the next 2-3 years in a row, you can just stroke a check, man.
Yeah, she's like, that sounds good.
Yeah, got it made. But I mean, you get into we did classical conversations for a few years, and that when you pick one of these curriculum, it automatically makes you part of this community. And there's people that you can reach out to, and there are other people around you that are doing it too.
See, that's the difference in when doing it now versus when I was little in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
There wasn't that community like you're talking about where you can, hey, I don't know this high level stuff. Like, oh, well, Sally's mom does.
Yeah.
All right, let's get her to help you out.
Yeah. You just had to go to a library and hope you could find, whatever you were looking for in the encyclopedia. Yeah.
Or just not do it is what most moms would do. I know people who are homeschooling, their parents were like,
do you really need that? You don't, for the most part. You really
don't. You really don't.
Yeah. I had to look and see. He's home. He's upstairs right now. That's funny.
Hayden?
Yeah. I wasn't sure how long we've been talking, but we've been at it for close to an hour now.
Like, come on down.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's crazy, dude. Yeah, we're right across from where Alexa grew up.
Yeah.
Then we bought our first house just right down the street.
Right in the old neighborhood.
I love it.
That's cool.
And then her parents live just right over there on now. So, yeah, it's good.
That is cool. How long are you guys here?
Till Monday.
Okay.
5 or 6 days, yeah.
I got you. So you're actually in ahead of Christmas then.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to go home for Christmas. She's got to work Christmas Day. And then we're going to do Christmas with our kids on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll be fun. So we live on a little half-mile road in the country. Everybody's got at least 2 acres, and there's 15 or 16 houses, but there's like 18 kids under the age of 15. So there's all these kids. Every one of them has some sort of like go-kart or four-wheeler or something. And so we bought them a little go-kart, a little tiny one with a roll cage and stuff, keep it safe. And we're going to break that out on Christmas Eve on, I guess.
Oh, they don't have it yet.
Tuesday. No, they don't have it yet.
That's going to be fantastic.
So I've got the helmet. They want these like, these specific helmets. And I was like, I got you the helmet and the gloves and the goggles. And they're going to be so excited. So we're going to go, we're going to do that when we get back, and it'll be fun.
That's going to be cool, man. That's like the first big Christmas gift that they really can, that they're going to love, and they'll remember that forever. Like,
exactly.
Time Daddy got us a go-kart, and ran it up a tree or whatever.
Man. He's already like, I want a BB gun. I'm like, we'll see.
Let's work up to that.
I think I was 6 when I got my BB gun, so we'll see. I was like, maybe next year.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's in the ballpark.
Yeah.
So you guys are 6 and 3?
5 and
3.
5 and 3.
Yeah.
And then one on the way in May. So let's see. So we'll have a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a baby in May.
Whoo.
Yeah.
Whoo.
Yeah. Just keep it coming, baby.
Yeah.
Just keep it coming. I'm
down.
You
guys are still young enough, though, man. We had Flint. I was 41 and 43 when we had Ben. So I always tell people, man, wait until you're ready to have kids. Be ready before you're 40.
So how old's Ben?
Ben just turned 3.
3, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got a. And then how old's your daughter?
Ayla's almost 17.
Oh, I was about to say 15 maybe. But
yeah.
Geez.
It's
crazy how fast that happens.
Right.
You know? Golly.
She was 15 this time last year.
Man. Yeah. So, yeah. I was like, let's just keep it coming.
Yeah.
I told her, I said, if we have 3, we got to have 4. I want to keep it even.
After you have 3, you might as well have 4. Because the workload is just exponentially greater anyway.
Mm-hmm. And then I think the older the kids get, they can start helping. So I'm like, let's just keep going. We'll see. It's all on her. I don't have to carry the baby. So
yeah, right. Yeah. Jessica almost died last time, so we're probably done.
Be done.
But you guys, y'all are still young and healthy, and you guys both look great. And have 4 or 5 of them.
Let's do it.
There were 4 of us, and there's 3 of you guys. So
You're not the oldest.
I'm number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drew is 4.
Is he in town right now?
He will be Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So he's coming. He's in Texas right now at Cisco Community College.
Okay.
Which is not like West Texas, but it's west of Dallas.
Okay.
So they're like just on the border. Like they have tumbleweeds sometimes.
Yeah.
But they're not in the desert.
Green, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So they're coming in this week. It was last time he was here, he did a podcast and came in and talked about where he worked and how much they loved it there. And before the podcast went to air, he got a different job and moved from Nebraska to Texas, and everything about that changed. And I guess we still ran the episode, but none of it was relevant anymore at all. It was like, we love living in Nebraska, and these are all the things that we do. And
that lifestyle, it probably changed. It could change any.
Oh yeah, he got a job like on the way home. Like they called him. They're driving back to Nebraska, and they're like, "Don't go to Nebraska because here's this job." So they had to go back and get their stuff, but went from Rome to back to Nebraska, and then immediately to Texas. Of course, his wife is from DFW area, so it was cool for her to get to go back home and be close to her folks and all that good stuff. But yeah, man, that's good. Good for him. He loves it, man.
He's living the dream, dude.
He is. It's all he's ever wanted to do.
Coach football.
So yeah.
What's his position there?
He coaches wide receivers and special teams.
Okay.
He's a junkie for a fake punt, man.
Yeah.
If you're coaching against
Dan
Drew,
Campbell special?
Yeah, you can just be ready. He's gonna fake one on you. It's just gonna happen like every Saturday. So he's always cooking something up, and he's like, "Hey, they don't have a guy over there, so if we do this and that, we'll score every time." Okay, cool.
Nice.
Let's do it.
That's what it takes.
Out there climbing that ladder, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Climbing the ladder. There we go. No pun intended.
Got to prove yourself.
Well, cool, man. Well, I won't keep you here all night, but it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, dude.
I've been looking forward to this. You messaged me a couple months ago. I'm like, hey, I'll be in town in December.
Yeah, I was like, if I'm going to be in town, I was like, I'm going to hit Burnham up.
Do it. Every time.
Do it. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. I got to give a shout out.
Do it.
He's my new salesman, right? He's like, hey, before you end the podcast, give a shout out to Kaz the Badger Ebert. And that's my new Kaz.
Badger Ebert.
Kaz the Badger. So
is his name Kaz or the Badger?
Kaz.
Okay.
Kaz Ebert.
The Badger's a nickname.
But the Badger's a nickname.
You just never know these days.
So that's true. That's true. He's like, hey, give me a shout out. I was like, I got you, buddy. So
holler at you, Kaz. I'm sure you're a good dude. Maybe we'll meet one day. If you're ever in Rome, holler at me.
But yeah, man. No, it's a pleasure. It's
cool.
always fun to do this, man.
Yeah.
And yeah. I wish you luck on your church search.
I think we got it nailed down.
Okay.
I feel good about it.
Good.
But it's gonna work out for you guys too. You just gotta stay at it.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Well, cool, man. Well, let's jump off.
Cool, brother.
God bless you guys. We love you. See you next time.
See you.